Hello, 6th graders. We are in Unit 6 again, and today we're looking at the coordinate plane. Learning targets you should have written down. I can identify and name features of the coordinate plane. I can name coordinates using ordered pairs, and I can use ordered pairs to plot points on a coordinate plane. And this is all part of Unit 6. You should have the notes template to use as you are watching this video. There's lots of images that you need to have of the different coordinate planes. So just get the note template out, take notes as you are watching. So some vocab here, important parts of the coordinate plane that we need to know. First of all, the different axes. We have the y-axis that runs up and down, vertical. And we have the x-axis that is horizontal. Where those two axes meet in the middle is called the origin. That's that point right there. And it's 0, 0, so the x value is 0 and the y value is 0 at that origin. In ordered pair, this is what we will see when we are plotting points. An example of this is 3, -2, and it's used to locate a point in the coordinate plane. The first number is the x-coordinate, and it corresponds to the number on the x-axis. So we would go over 1, 2, 3 spots to the right. And the second number, the -2, that's the y-coordinate, and that corresponds to the number on the y-axis. So -2 here on the y-axis, and we find where they meet, and we plot our points. We'll learn more about that in the video here. The coordinate plane is broken into 4 quadrants, okay, the 4 sections. We start up here at the top right. This is quadrant number 1. And then we go counterclockwise, so that means backwards of how a clock normally goes, so going this direction. Here is quadrant 2, and if we continue in that order, quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, and they are shown using Roman numerals. So again, the quadrants are in order counterclockwise. Okay, again, an ordered pair, the first value is the x-coordinate and the second value is the y-coordinate. It is always going to be that way, x, y. So think about how they show up in the alphabet. The numbers, again, tell us how we are moving. So the 2 in the x-coordinate tells us how far to move on the x-axis, to the left or to the right. If the number is negative, we go to the left. If it's positive, we go to the right. The y-coordinate, the second number, tells us how to move on the y-axis, so either moving up or down. If it's a positive number, we move up, and if it's a negative number, we move down. So just thinking about those integers and what we know about them, helping us determine right, left, up, down. This is important to know, the signs of each of the quadrants. If we are up here in quadrant 1, the x, remember x, y, the x-coordinate will always be positive and the y-coordinate will always be positive. Going to quadrant 2, the x-coordinate will always be a negative number and the y-coordinate will always be positive. Going to quadrant number 3, the x-coordinate will always be negative and the y will always be negative. So negative, negative. And then in quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative. And that's just remembering if we're going to the right or to the left, up or down, how that affects our integers. So here's our question here. If we have a point whose ordered pair contains 2 negative numbers, so that means the x is negative and the y is negative, where will it be located? It will always be in quadrant 3. Okay, so again, ordered pair. The x is the first coordinate and y is the second. And the x tells us left or right, and the y tells us up or down. We always move left or right first, and then we move up and down second. So the x-axis, I'm just going to label a few here, but positive numbers are to the right of the origin. So again, origin is right here where those meet. So this would be a positive 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we go to the left of the origin, they're going to be negative. So -1, -2, -3, -4, so on and so forth. Same thing with the y-axis. Positive numbers are going to be above the origin, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Negatives are going to be down below, -1, -2, -3, -4. And again, the origin is 0, 0, so the x and the y value are both 0 at the origin. So the coordinate plane kind of goes along with a number line, thinking about to the right, left, up, down, things like that. Now we're going to be naming coordinates using ordered pairs. So if we have a figuring out where they are located on our coordinate plane. So write the ordered pair that corresponds to the point D, which is right here on our graph. Then state the quadrant in which the point is located. So we always start at the origin, again, where the x and y axis meet. And then we're going to start by going either to the left or to the right. In this case, we're going to the left. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. So that means our x coordinate is going to be -4. From there, we would either move up or down, depending on if it's positive or negative. In this case, we are going up 1, 2. So that means our y coordinate is a +2. And we would write it like this. Again, x coordinate is always first. Okay, x first, y second. -4, 2. And remember the quadrants. This is quadrant 1, 2. So that means that point is in quadrant number 2. So pause here, try these next ones on your own, and then you can always come back and watch and see how you did. Point A, again, starting at the origin, it looks like we're going to go to the left first. 1, 2, 3 spots to the left, so that means our x value is a -3. And then we're going down 1. It's not labeled, but this is 1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And again, it's negative because we're going down. And that would be quadrant number 3 on our coordinate plane. Okay, I'm going to erase that. Next one, point B. Looks like we're going to the right now, 1, 2, 3. So that's a +3. From there, we're going down again. This is not labeled, but this is -1. So -1, -2, -3, -4. And it's a negative because we are going down on the y-axis, and that's quadrant number 4 on our coordinate plane. And last one, let me just erase that. Point C. Starting back at the origin, we're going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be our x value. Remember, right or left first. Now, up and down, we're not actually moving off of the x-axis, so that means our y-coordinate is going to be 0. And where is it located? It's not actually in any of the quadrants. We would say that it is located on the x-axis. So if it falls on either the x or y-axis, we don't say it's in a coordinate, or in a quadrant, sorry, it's on the axis instead. Okay, so now going the other way, we're going to graph the ordered pair. So now we're given the numbers, and we have to figure out where they would go on our graph. So the first one looks like we are graphing 2, -5. So we always start at the origin. The first number tells us to the right or to the left. Because it's a positive, that means we're going to move 2 spots to the right. The y value, or the y coordinate, -5, tells us how we're going to move up or down. Since it's a -5, that means we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be where we would plot our point. And then we label it with the letter, which in this case is K. So again, here's the steps over here. Start at the origin, 0, 0. You're going to move either to the left or to the right, and then move up or down, depending on if they're positives or negatives. So try these graph L, M, N on your own. So the first one, L, -4, 2. So starting at the origin to the -4 tells us that we're going to go left 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And a +2 means we're going to go from there up to 1, 2. Plot the point, and again, label it with the letter so that we know which points are what. Next one, M, -5, -3. So again, a negative tells me we're going to go to the left first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -3, so the second number is up or down. Since it's a negative, we're going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Plot my point and label it with the letter. And the last one, N. So 0 would tell us, that first number again tells us left or right, but since it's 0, it means we're not moving from the origin at all. We're staying right there at the middle. And the second number, 1, is a positive, so from there we're going to go up 1 and plot the point and label it. Okay. And again, if we were to say where they're located, that one would be like on the y-axis. It's not actually in a quadrant. Actually, yeah, so we're supposed to do that for all of them. So this one is the y-axis. Again, quadrants 1, 2, oh man, sorry. Let's see. 2, 3. Okay, sorry. So L was in quadrant 2 and M was in quadrant 3. That's all for graphing. Make sure that you have all of this written down in your note template today. So all the titles and everything were there for you. Anything extra that I added, you should have also added into your template. Make sure all the examples are completed. Check to make sure that you are understanding. Could you explain this to somebody else? If you are still stuck or confused on any part of it, make sure to go back and re-watch the parts that you're confused on. Otherwise, keep your notes for me to check and also to use as you are practicing.